What is going on, YouTube, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, I will be answering your questions. So like I said, in today's video, I'm going to be answering questions that I get asked frequently, whether it be on YouTube or Instagram. Which the reason why I'm getting asked these questions is because of you guys and all the support, subscribing, liking, commenting on the videos. The channel has seen some growth. So first off, I want to thank you guys for doing that. But that being said, I figured I'd do a Q&A. I've never done one of these before. So if you like this video, make sure you comment below that you do like it, or you could even put some comments or questions below, and I'll try to get back to those. I'll always answer your comments or respond to your comments, whether it be on YouTube or Instagram. But what I notice is a lot of people are asking the same questions, which means everybody's struggling in the same areas. And some of these people are asking questions that I've done videos on in the past, basically answering them. But one of the things I don't like about responding to you guys on Instagram and YouTube is I feel like a comment doesn't do justice, and I really can't give you guys my best advice. Now, first off, disclaimer, I am not an expert on anything, okay? This is just, all my answers are coming from, I have been doing this for over 15 years, 17 years basically, I've been doing this, working out, nutrition, and the thing is, first of all, I'm gonna let you guys know right off the bat, I'm gonna give you my answers that have worked for me. But everybody is different. So the key that you'll hear as I answer these questions is you need to know that, one, you're different from everybody else. So your situation is gonna be unique to others. Now, there may have been people that have been in your situation that you could take some advice from. But one thing about fitness is you're always gonna fail, and you're always gonna learn, and you're always gonna make mistakes. Even with me right now, that the last 5 weeks, 8 weeks or whatever that I've been doing this cut, trying to get down some weight, I've noticed that I've had to make some adjustments. Something that has worked in the past for me may not work this time, and you have to make adjustments. So everything I give, or all the advice that I give you today, just take with a grain of salt. Try it, apply it. You may have to make adjustments. It's probably not going to be a one and done, one size fits all. But again, I'm just going to be answering questions. Now, I did post yesterday on my Instagram asking people if they had any questions, life related, fitness related, and nutrition related. If you're not following my Instagram, go follow that, because I do post a lot more on that. I pretty much post every single day on there, so you can see a little bit more content, as opposed to YouTube. I only post once a week. But anyway, I got some responses from questions that from yesterday that I'm gonna respond to, and then also I basically went back through my DMs, my comments, and all the questions that I've seen the most. I'm gonna also pull from those and hopefully give you guys some good content. So let's get right into it. Let's look at these questions. Let me pull them up. First question that I am going to do. Alright, so this question I get asked a lot, and this question is, what is the best split for building muscle? It depends. It depends on what you are looking for. Okay, it also depends on what your schedule is. If you're someone that can work out 5 days a week, then you're going to get a different schedule from someone who is, only able to work out 3 days a week, but at the same time they want to build muscle. Personally, if you guys have been following the channel, you know that I am a big follower of, I like to push pull split. So for instance, if you are someone that was trying to build muscle and you only had 3 days to work out, I would definitely do the push pull split. Now, if you were someone that was doing only able to work out 4 days a week, I might do like a push-pull split, or push-pull leg split, and then maybe after that leg day, take 1 day off, and then go to maybe like a chest back day or a shoulders leg day. Wherever I felt that I needed to grow the muscle the most, I would do the tradition. If I had 4 days and I needed to grow muscle, I would do push-pull split, so I hit basically every body part once, and then my 4th day, I might do like a 2 body part day depending on where I'm struggling. So like for instance, me, I would do a chest and back day, because obviously my chest is one of the weaker parts, and then my back, but it's also 2 big muscle groups. So you're targeting them twice a week, and it's a pretty effective day. Now, if it was a 5-day split, I might do a push-pull legs split, or push-pull legs off, push-pull day. And then, or for instance, if I was suffering or struggling more with like leg, I might do a push and leg day, and that would be my 5 days. I've done pretty much everything. I've done the bro split or the bodybuilder split, where it's basically chest, arms, back, shoulders. The only thing I don't like about that is you're only hitting one body part a week. What I've noticed is when you're able to hit one body part twice a week, that's where I see the most growth. So, and then obviously if you're able to do 6 days, then I would just do push pull legs, rest, or push pull legs, rest, push pull legs for a 6-day split. That's typically what I would do. But again, it depends on your schedule and it depends on where you're lacking the most. Next question. I am trying to incorporate more cardio into my program. Would you recommend it before or after working out? It depends. You gotta listen to your body. So for instance, I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning every day and I'll do my bodybuilding or my strength or my hypertrophy training first, and then I'll follow it by running. I used to run and then do lifting. If you guys have been following me, you guys know my belief is do something that you can do for a very long time and you enjoy doing. When I was doing the cardio first, I felt like, one, I was hungry during my workout, I didn't get good enough pump, and I didn't really like it. So I've been doing my workout first, which I feel like I'm able to put out a little bit more strength and then also not get so hungry. And then I like ending my workouts with a run, with cardio, whatever it may be. Also, there's been research done that if you're trying to build muscle, you should always do your cardio after. But again, it depends on you. If you prefer to, get your body warmed up, I know a lot of people that like to run and do their cardio first and then lift. The reason why I'm doing my cardio after is because I'm training for a Spartan race right now. So I'm trying to fatigue my body before I do any cardio, because I've done Spartan races and I know that the hardest part is being able to run and keep your endurance up after you're already kind of sore and fatigued. So that's my preference. So again, to answer your question, what are you going to be able to do for a long time? If you enjoy doing cardio first, then I would say do cardio first. If you enjoy doing strength first, then do strength first. Now, as opposed to if it's going to destroy your gains and everything, at least as long as you are eating a lot and fueling your body properly, I think you will be okay. But again, you got to try it out. Switch it up a couple times a week, and then see how you feel, see how you perform, see which one you like better. Oh, I get asked this one a lot. Okay, so I am trying to lose belly fat. What is the best cardio for that? Unfortunately, to lose body fat, it is not about cardio. If it was, I would be probably shredded. That being said, unfortunately, to lose belly fat or any type of fat, since you can't target fat loss, you gotta. It happens in the kitchen. You gotta have your nutrition on point. If your nutrition is on point, then the best cardio that I've seen that works best for just literally burning fat and not touching anything else, not touching muscle or anything, I would have to say it's steady state cardio, which means it's the most boring type of cardio, unless you have access to Netflix or something, or a good podcast. But basically the cardio that has worked best for me when it's to lose just fat, is walking on a treadmill, walking on an incline. I do that for about 45. I was doing that before I started training for my Spartan race, 45 minutes a day, 7 days a week. Now, the reason why I was doing that also is because I'm a teacher. So even though I'm moving throughout the classroom and throughout the day, I'm really not that active. And when I was doing no cardio and I was lifting, working out, and then going to work and then coming home and sitting, out of 16 hours a day, we'll say that I was up, I was really only active for maybe an hour and a half. And then the other 15 or 14 and a half hours, I was just sitting around. And that's why I started paying attention to my Apple Watch and realizing I was getting no steps in. I was getting no movement, no activity throughout the day unless I was working out. So if you're trying to lose belly fat, one, it starts in the kitchen. You got to get your nutrition on point. Once that is on point, I would, if you have an Apple Watch or something that tracks your step, I would see what you typically get in steps throughout the week. So say you average about 5,000 steps a day throughout the week, I would increase that number to 10,000 steps. Do 10,000 steps. Again, you don't have to do it all at once. I only do 45 minutes of cardio, and that gets me up to 35 to 4,000 steps. And then the rest, now I'm averaging 15,000 steps a day. But that's because I'm very intentional on throughout the day, I'll go walk for 10 minutes. Because I know if I walk for 10 minutes, that gets me about 1,000 steps. So as long as I'm doing that every hour, every other hour or whatnot, and that's, if you're sitting around checking your phone instead of sitting on the couch, pick your phone up, walk through your house, pace through your house, just get movement in that way. And it's a little bit easier, and that's where I've noticed that I've lost the most fat because even when I did my Spartan Beast and I was training and running every day, I wasn't doing steady state cardio, and I still had some fluff in the mid area. So get your nutrition on point, and then I would recommend steady state cardio. Okay, so this question gets asked a lot. I am trying to lose weight. What is the best diet for fat loss? Keto, vegan, carnivore, intermittent fasting, or carb cycling? My answer is, it depends. And the reason why I say it depends, because one, I don't know your background. I don't know what kind of, you may have some health issues, you may have some specialties, some allergies. I don't know the background, so I'll just kind of give you a very vague answer for this. Again, it depends on you, so you gotta obviously figure out what you're allergic to and what works. My biggest thing, I've done keto, I've even done vegan for a week. I've never done carnivore, I've done intermittent fasting, and then you guys know I'm a huge believer of carb cycling because it works for me and I'm able to maintain it. When I did keto, it's not a lifestyle. I could do keto probably for about 30 days and see some good results, but I couldn't maintain it. Meaning, if I'm gonna go out with some friends or something, or me and my wife go out on a date, I don't wanna have to only get keto. Did I feel fine on keto? Yeah, I felt fine. But I do like, and I do believe there's a balance. You guys know that I am all about balance. I am not someone who is an extremist when it comes to anything. I'm not an extremist when it comes to you should only lift weights. I'm not an extremist when it comes to you should only do cardio or carnivore, whatever it may be. I'm a big believer of balance. I've done vegan for a week, and honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I felt good. I had a lot of energy. There was no highs and there's no lows. But at the same time, I could not maintain it for a lifestyle. Could I do it for 30 days? Yeah, I could do it for 30 days, but what's that? In the grand scheme of things, everything you're doing in fitness and nutrition and lifestyle, it should be exactly that, a lifestyle. Not a 30-day diet, not a 50-day diet, not a, oh, I got a wedding coming up, 3-month diet. It should be, what can I maintain for longevity? And what is a lifestyle, or what is a diet or nutrition plan that would fit my lifestyle? Intermittent fasting, I really liked that, but again, there was only a certain window that I was able to eat, and I didn't really like how I felt outside that window. Like, I wake up, and for like 3 hours, I was really uncomfortable. Like, I was hungry, and I was thinking about it. I just didn't like it. It was also hard for me to get all my calories in an 8-hour window. So again, I couldn't maintain that. The one that I have seen the most success with when it comes to working around my workouts, meaning I have enough fuel for my workouts, enough energy throughout the day, and then also being able to switch up my food so I'm not eating the exact same thing every single day, has been carb cycling. I am a huge believer of carb cycling just because you could kind of keep it exciting. You can, you could have a high day, a low day, a high day, a low day. I've done a high day, a low, low, high. I mean, you could switch it up. You can manipulate it. And when you're able to manipulate things, you're able to plan a little bit better. For instance, if you know a holiday's coming up or a weekend's coming up, where you're going to go to a party, you can manipulate that okay, that's going to be my high carb day, but the day right after I'm going into low carb day, and I'm going to drop my calories. I've been doing this for this entire cut that I've been on right now, and I've lost about, I want to say 10 pounds in like 8 weeks. I'm basically losing 1.5 pounds a week, but my cravings are pretty much gone. I really don't ever I mean, don't get me wrong, I love donuts, but I'm not like sitting there like craving it every single day. My energy is good. I'm not hungry throughout the day, and my workouts are good because I plan my high carb days around that. So when it comes to losing weight, the main thing is you got to find something that you can do for a long time. If you see great weight loss with the keto, but you're like hating it and missing your carbs, and psychologically it's really hard, chances are you're not going to be able to maintain it. Same with if you go carnivore or intermittent fasting. So answer to that, it really depends, and you got to find something that fits your lifestyle. If it fits your lifestyle, it's not a diet. You're going to do it for the rest of your life. So that's kind of my answer to that. All right, next third question. Is it possible to grow muscle and burn fat at the same time? Absolutely. In order to do that, though, the first thing you got to do is you got to figure out your maintenance calories and then your protein intake of how much protein you should be consuming a day. For instance, I'm just going to make it very simple because I'm not going to go into detail about this. Whatever your goal weight is. When I started my diet, I was 214. My goal weight was 200. Baseline, keep it real simple. However, or whatever weight you want to weigh, take in that many grams of protein a day. So if you're a female and you're like, I want to get down to 120, there you go, 120 grams of protein you should be consuming at least a day. If you're a male and you're like, I want to get down to 200, take in 200 grams of protein a day. As long as you are taking in sufficient amount of protein, which I've realized that anytime I ask someone, like, oh, I want to build muscle or I want to lose weight, someone who's not familiar with this, when I ask them, oh, how many grams of protein do you think you're taking in a day? They overshoot it. They're like, oh, probably like 150. And then I'm like, well, what did you eat today? And I break it down and I plug it into my app. I realize I'm like, dude, you're only at like 70 grams of protein. So if you're trying to burn fat and gain muscle, one, I would say focus on the fuel around your workouts. So obviously you should have protein at every single meal, but make sure you have carbs around your workout, probably pre-workout, maybe intra-workout, and then post-workout. And then I would probably have, that's pretty much it. Your carbs would be fueled for your workout. The rest of the day would be really just about consuming protein and fat. So as long as your workouts are on point, your protein intake is on point, you're going to be building muscle. When it comes to burning fat, if you want to see a little bit quicker results, then I would say go back to steady state cardio and start and see where you're at, right? Figure out how many steps a day you're getting, just to that kind of tracks your movement. See how much you're moving throughout the week. You might be surprised. You might not be moving that much throughout the week. If you are moving that much throughout the week, then I would increase whatever your average daily steps are to like another 5,000 and just get moving. Because anytime you do steady state cardio, you're really just burning fat, not muscle. If you're trying to not burn any muscle, then I would stay away from like endurance running or anything like that. But yes, you definitely could burn or grow muscle and burn fat at the same time. Great question. All right, next up. This person said their maintenance calories are 2,700-ish, 170 grams of protein, 300 grams of carbs, 90 grams of fat. If I'm 170, what would you change to build muscle? So this one's a little bit, I might need a little bit more detail, but if I was just going off of that, I would say, one, I'd go back to what is your goal weight? Do you want to weigh 180 pounds? Do you want to weigh 200 pounds? Say, for instance, you want to stay at 170, I would consume about 190, maybe even like 200 grams of protein, just to make sure that obviously you're feeding your muscles. I'd probably keep the carbs at the same, and then the fat is also at the same. So again, the 170, I don't know if you're trying to lose weight or gain weight. If you're trying to gain weight and you're at 27, it says your maintenance is 27. So you probably have to up the calories. You might have to up the calories. I would start with like 250. So I might go to 3,000 calories a day, and I would predominantly get those calories from protein intake. Protein intake and then some carbs. So maybe bump the protein up to 200 and then maybe the carbs up to 350 and see where that is. I would also ask you, what are you doing for cardio? Are you doing a bunch of cardio throughout the week? If you are, and you're really just trying to build muscle, I'd dial back on the cardio and maybe just do steady state cardio. But anytime you want to build muscle, like I said, you really got to focus on, okay, I want to build muscle and possibly gain weight. Then you just got to, whatever that goal weight is, choose the protein amount and go and shoot off that. Anytime you're trying to build muscle, I again always think of your goal weight, whatever that is. Then I would do one gram of protein per body weight, or you could even do up to 1.5 grams of protein per body weight, depending on where you're at. Now, if you don't want to gain any weight and you just want to stay at 170, again, then I would still increase the protein and possibly bring down the carbs. And then again, all those carbs I would just be feeding around my workout, pre-workout, intra-workout, and then obviously post-workout. Great question. All right, let's see what else is on these questions. Next up, I struggle on getting strict pull-ups. What movements would you recommend? First of all, pull-ups suck, okay? Second of all, pull-ups, the good thing is even though they suck, they're very easy to get good at. Where when I first started doing pull-ups, I think I was able to do maybe like 6 at a time, if that. And they weren't very clean pull-ups. They were pretty ugly pull-ups, if I would say. That being said, I would ask you, how many pull-ups are you able to do in one setting? So if you grab the bar and you do one set, how many could you get? Whether it be 3, 5, 1, whatever that is. So say you're able to get 3 pull-ups. Okay, I would probably shoot for five sets. I would do 5 sets of 3. Do a set of 3, wait a minute, do a set of 3, wait a minute, do a set of 3. I would kind of build off that. Now the thing is if you're like, well, that's way too much, I can't get that 3rd, 4th, and 5th set, I would get bands. You've probably seen me do it in my workouts that I usually finish off on back days, because I'm also trying to improve my pull-ups. And where I've seen the most growth is for a while I was doing sets of pull-ups at the beginning of my workout, and then at the end of the workout I would basically do 3 burnout sets of pull-ups, but I would use a band. So I'd tie a band to the top, pull it down, and it'd be a super strong band. I'd put my feet on it, and then that would it's almost like a assisted pull-up. If you have someone there, they could also lift your legs up, but if you don't, I would just invest in one of the Rogue bands. I use the blue one and then the red one, but depending on where you're at, you could do 2 of them, and it will help you obviously get that or initial movement up. And then as soon as you get to the top, really focus, especially if you have a band, focus on the mind-muscle connection of as you're pulling up, you're literally like trying to bring your chest to the top of the bar. A lot of people they'll just kind of it's hard to explain, but they'll just basically bring the pull-up or the bar straight to here. But if you're intentional about you're going to arc your back and then kind of come up and try to get your chest, you'll start engaging different muscles as opposed to just your arms. Because when you do a pull-up, you're using your lats, your upper back, your deltoids, everything just to kind of, or your rear delts just to pull yourself up. So when it comes to pull-ups, if that's something you're really trying to get better at, one, I'd be doing it frequently. I would probably maybe do it 3 to 4 days a week. And then I would either do it at the beginning or the end of your session, but I would shoot for 5 sets. 5 sets of whatever you feel comfortable doing. If you start feeling fatigued, that's when the band comes in. And if you just keep doing that and you basically are intentional about it, I promise you start getting better at pull-ups. Because I think a month ago, there's a pull-up bar in one of our classrooms, and I was like, let me see how many I could do. And I want to say in a row, I think I knocked out 22 pull-ups or something, which I would have never been able to do that. But I've been very intentional about pull-ups. So if your goal is pull-ups, make sure you're doing pull-ups at least 3 to 4 days a week. And then I would be shooting from 4 to 5 sets of pull-ups, pretty much whatever your max pull-ups is. I hope that helped. Oh, the infamous cheat day. Do you have cheat meals or cheat days? Well, back in my prime, when I was like 21 and I started realizing about nutrition, I would have cheat days, and trust me, your boy would go hamski in the pamski. I was known for my cheat days because I would just go ham. Now, throughout the week, obviously, I was in a calorie deficit. However, since I am older now and I am a dad, my body can't really handle cheat days anymore. I used to have donuts for breakfast. I would have McDonald's and pizza for lunch. I'd have Taco Bell, more donuts, ice cream for dinner. I mean, I would go all out and I would feel amazing. Now when I do that, I feel like trash. And this is the thing. If you eat healthy and you work out when you're eating healthy, you feel a certain way. You feel good. If you eat like trash and then you try to do that same workout, you realize you didn't feel your body. You destroyed your insides and you feel like trash while you do the workout. It sucks. So that kind of prevents me. However, I do sometimes have a cheat meal. Now, when it comes to factoring it in and everything, I try to, one, have the cheat meal land on my high carb day, back to finding that balance. And then I won't eat that many carbs throughout the day. So say I'm consuming right now I'm at 2,800 calories a day on my high carb day, and it's 280 grams of carbs. Well, what I'll do is I'll maybe only have a small, depending on where the event is, whether it's dinner, breakfast, or lunch. If I know I'm going to my parents for dinner and my mom's making lasagna, I know I'm not going to be able to control myself when I get there. I'll probably have 3 pieces of lasagna, a couple pieces of garlic bread, some chips, a soda, and that's about it. And she always has cookies, so I'll probably have cookies. It's a big cheat meal, right? So what I'll do is I'll try to just hit my protein throughout the day. I'll eat maybe just eggs for breakfast. I'll eat chicken breast for lunch. I'll eat a protein shake for a snack in the afternoon, and then that's pretty much just protein. And then I kind of saved all my, because if I'm taking in 200 calories or 200 grams of protein, well, 200 times 4, that's only 800 calories, which means I still got about 2,000 calories that I could eat. And I'm going to eat that at my mom's house. I'll probably actually go over that. I'll probably go up to 3,000 calories. But in the grand scheme of things, I've noticed that when I do a cheat meal, it's harder to and you're not going to mess up your diet on a cheat meal. You may not lose as much that week, but what I've noticed, if I do a cheat day, I could do some damage because I could have 3,000 calories in the morning, 3,000 calories at lunch, 3,000 calories. That's 9,000 calories in one day. That could jack up your thing. What I've known, if I do a cheat meal at night before I go to bed, or a couple hours before I go to bed, one, I'm going to go to bed, so I can't keep eating. It's eventually going to end. Also, I can only eat so much in one meal. So say I go crazy and I eat 3,500 calories in one meal. Well, that's really only a pound in a week. So it's not as bad. So if you're just starting out, I would stay away from cheat days. I would go more for cheat meals. As for how many a week, like I said, I usually only do one cheat meal a week, and I have noticed that I'm able to do that, and I'm still able to lose weight. So try to do cheat meals, not cheat days. All right, I'm gonna wrap this up pretty soon because I think we're going over the time limit that I would have liked. Next question: as a new dad, I am finding it hard to find motivation/time to work out, but I don't want to get a dad bod. I've been there. I feel your struggle. Any tips for me? Sacrifice. You gotta realize one thing. In order to achieve your goals, never be that dad that blames it on their kid. Oh, I used to be fit, but then I had a daughter, or I had my son, or whatever. One, you're making excuses and you're blaming your child. Shut your mouth. Don't do that. Second, realize you got to make sacrifices, but there's a reward at the end of this sacrifice. What you will learn being a new dad is that your child is always watching you. Always. They learn more from what they see you do than what you say. You could tell your kids to eat healthy, work out, whatever. You could tell them to be nice to people. You could tell them to say thank you, please, all that stuff. They won't do it. They might do it, but it won't be as effective as if they see you do it. If they see you eating healthy, if they see you working out, if they see you being nice to people, thanking people, complimenting people, if they see you doing that, they're gonna follow in your footsteps. So what you need to ask yourself: do you want your life to be easy, where you're always your child is basically just falling into line and doing what they've seen you do, or do you want your life to be hard because you're one of those parents that do as I say, not as I do? And I've noticed that when parents are like that, they have issues with their kids because, and I mean, think about it. When you're a child, if your parents telling you to do something, if your parents telling you not to cuss, and they're cussing all the time, what is that child thinking? They're thinking like, well, what? Once I get a certain age, I don't have to do that? Or like, hey, make sure you eat your vegetables. Well, you didn't eat your vegetables. You're having a beer. Well, I'm an adult. Oh, so when I become an adult, then I can make all these dumb decisions. And when I'm a child, I have to basically listen to adults. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. So easiest thing for you is just realize, like, one, you're gonna have to sacrifice sleep. It gets easy. Trust me. I go to bed at pretty much 8:30, wake up at 3 every single day, and I'm fine. I'm chilling. Except for when I come home and I sit on the couch. If I'm sitting on the couch for about 10 minutes, I knock out like death. And my wife always makes fun of me because she's like, you knock out so quick. But that 10-minute nap, you get good at those as being a new dad too. So sacrifices, and then realize why are you making those sacrifices. Which app do you use to track your calories? I use the First-Form app. I will put it in the link below, or the description below. I work with that company. I am a Legionnaire for that company. Great company. One of the reasons why I liked the app though is because it's very visually appealing, a lot of colors, it's easy to manipulate. I also like it because it tracks. I can put my progress photos in there, I can put my weights in there, my dimensions in there, my size, my workouts, everything. It's a one-stop shop. So I love that app, and that's the app that I currently use. What supplements should I be taking? It depends. What are your goals? Main thing, I take a good amount of supplements. I take a pre-workout. I take 2 different types of protein. I take a multivitamin. I take a collagen. I take a carb powder. I've taken creatine. I think that's it. But as for someone that's just trying to lose weight and get into this healthy lifestyle, I would just say take a protein, because you'll realize if you're trying to hit your protein goal and you've never hit it before, that's where protein comes in. It does help you hit your macros for the day. So probably protein and maybe like a multivitamin, and that's about it. Advice for new runners. This advice I wish someone would have told me when I first started out running. First of all, running sucks, okay? Second of all, you need to start slow. I went out, my cousin challenged me to do 100 miles in 1 month. So the first day I was like, oh cool, I just have to run, I think it was like 3.5 miles a day. First day out, I went out and ran 3.5 miles. Mind you, I've never ran that long before, but I was like, whatever, I played football, I'm tough, I could do this. No, I couldn't. I came back, I couldn't even walk. My calves were shot, my legs were shot. The bottom of my feet apparently have muscles, and those were freaking destroyed. And I couldn't pretty much walk for 3 days, so that kind of set me back on this whole running journey I was gonna do. So my advice, and after doing this for a very long time, run slow, which is hard, especially if you come from a sports background. You're like, no, you always want to run fast. No, run slow to the point. This is my tip for you. 1, run to the point where it's jogging, really, that you can hold a conversation in paragraphs with someone. So if someone was running right next to you, you would be able to talk pretty much how I'm talking right now. You're able to talk for a good amount of time, because as you're doing it, you're trying to focus on breathing and you're having a conversation. You stop, they talk, you gather yourself, and you go back and forth. It's not very fast. Most of my runs, I'm running like a 10-minute and pretty much a 10-minute per mile pace. That's pretty much where I'm at. Another one to really help, especially it's like a meditating type of run. Run to the point where you're able to breathe only through your nose. You do not have to open your mouth. That's a very slow run, but it's a run that you probably can hold that speed probably for about 30 minutes. You may not run 3 miles, you may not run a mile, you may not run 2, whatever. But if you do that, you're getting used to one, breathing, which is good for your body. But at the end of that run, you're not going to be dead. And you're not going to wake up the next morning and be like, oh my God, I can't even walk. And then now mentally, you're like, I never want to run again, which that defeats the whole purpose of someone who's trying to start running. But you'll realize like, hey, it wasn't bad. It wasn't that crazy. I'm not suffering as I'm doing it. This is kind of enjoyable, almost like a meditation. I could probably do this. That's what you want to do for just starting off running. And then once you get into it, not gonna lie, there is like a point where you hit that like runner's high or runners where you actually enjoy running. I know it's kind of hard to believe. I never thought I would do it, but there's certain days where I'm like, man, I just want to go for a run, because you know you're not gonna die. You know it's gonna be a little uncomfortable. You'll be a little sore the next day, but you're not gonna come home and be like, I can't walk for a week. So advice to new runners: start slow. All right, so those are predominantly the most questions that I get. I do want to do like a shotgun style or quick fire style questions. I have a couple ones that I saw, and I think it's on Men's Health, that I thought were pretty interesting, where they ask a question real fast. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll wrap this video up. If I had to do CrossFit or bodybuilding, which one would I do? Both. I'm a firm believer that you should do both. If you're only doing CrossFit, I think you're missing out on the bodybuilding benefits. If you're only doing bodybuilding, I think you're missing out on the CrossFit. So again, balance, not an extremist. Legs or arms, I would definitely choose legs. I am not, I mean, arms look nice, don't get me wrong, but legs, when you're done with a leg day, you just feel good. Jacked or shredded, if someone had to call you one? Depends. Depends on the year. If it's summertime, I want to look shredded. If it's wintertime, I would want to be called jacked. And then last one, morning or night workout, which if you know me, I'm all about morning. It would be nice if I could do both, right? If I could do my cardio in the morning, wake up, get a good nice run, stretch, maybe some core, and then lift weights in the afternoon, I would love that. But again, it all based off your schedule. So what works for me? Morning, 100%. Also, I've noticed that anytime I try to do a night workout, life happens. So if you get off work, you may have to go to an appointment, you may have to go take care of something that happened at your house, you may have to take care of something with your kids. There's so many different variables. If you wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, ain't nobody up at that time. No one's gonna hit you up. Nothing's open. You can't go do nothing. Nothing's broke. Nothing. 3 o'clock is golden hour. I have been working at that time, I want to say like 2 or 3 months. I haven't missed a workout yet. I even went to a wedding and I had someone ask me, hey, how did you work out in San Diego for the wedding? I said, same thing I always do. And they're like, you woke up at 3? I'm like, yeah. If you do that, you don't have to. You could go on vacation. And you're like, oh, I gotta wake up. We're gonna go to, go down to we're gonna get breakfast. We're gonna go to the beach. Then we're gonna go to SeaWorld. Then when we come back, I'll hit my workout. Not gonna happen. As opposed to, I'm gonna wake up at 3 o'clock, get my workout done before all of that, and go into the day feeling like an absolute machine. That's what I recommend. All right, but that is about it. I know this video was a little bit longer. Please comment below. Let me know if you like this question and answer style. I kind of like it just because, like I said, I get asked a lot of questions that I feel like messages and texts or instant messages and DMs, I can't really give you guys justice. So I really hope this helped you with all your questions. You could add some questions below if you do have some, and I'll get back to you. But until next time, you guys already know the motto. Stay happy, stay healthy, and above all, don't be average. I'll see you next time.